TravelingMel.com.
We are in Salzburg, Austria, and we're doing a whirlwind tour of the city in one day because there's so many historic and interesting pop culture things all in this tiny little area. We're going to walk around and see things important to Mozart, to the Sound of Music, to the salt trade, to World War II, and also, of course, we have to taste some of the best chocolate cake in Austria and Kaiserschmarrn and beer. We got to go to a beer hall. So it's going to be quick, it's going to be a full day, and we're going to see a lot of stuff. This is the Mozart Wohnhaus, the place he lived from the time he was 17 to 25, and his family continued to live on afterwards. Turns out we could not film or take photos inside the museum, so we're going to head off to the gardens. This is the Mirabel Gardens, and it featured prominently in the Sound of Music, the Do-Re-Mi scene where they were singing and jumping up the steps and the scales, and we're going to go see the Pegasus Fountain, which was in it too. Also, Mozart played here, and the palace was built for someone's mistress, but is now a city building. And also, the King of Greece was born here. St. Sebastian's Church and Cemetery is purported to be one of the most peaceful places in Salzburg, and also where Mozart's wife Constance and his father Leopold were buried. And it is very peaceful. Hard to find though. Mozart was buried. We are at Cafe Sacher, and we are going to try out their world famous original Sacher torte, which is chocolate cake, and we love chocolate cake. We are in Steingasse Alley, which means Stone Alley, and there's this little corner of a building that supposedly was hit by a tank driven by an American soldier drunk on his way to a brothel and knocked off a corner of the building here. I'm gonna have to cheat on my phone a little bit, but in the Middle Ages, the Riverside Steingasse connected Salzburg to important trade routes, which turned the town into a major salt hub for local mines. So that's what the Stone Alley is. This is where, number 9 is where Joseph Mohr lived, who was the person who wrote the song Silent Night. And this is where he lived when he wrote the words to that song. And the door has maybe seen better days, but there's this nice inscribed stonework to memorialize the event. And here, number 25, is where Mozart's first violin was made. We are turning off the Stone Alley here because we have a bridge to cross. The Mozart Bridge behind me here was named after the city's most famous resident, obviously, and was seen twice in The Sound of Music, both for the Do Re Mi song and when Maria and the kids were singing A Few of My Favorite Things.
What are a few of your favorite things?
Well, there's Raindrops and Roses, Whiskers on Kittens, of course Bright Copper Kettles and Warm Woolen Mittens are right up there.
Did you also say chocolate cake?
And chocolate cake. Only if it's the world's best, though. We just popped into the Panorama Museum, which was kind of interesting. I think most of it was closed. We got a big discount and we got to see a panoramic painting of Salzburg from a while back. So worth stepping in, and we warmed up and now we're ready to go on to Residenzplatz. This is Residenzplatz, and it was built on an ancient Roman forum, and if you recall from The Sound of Music, Maria dances through here singing I Have Confidence in Me. We are walking to the old Salzburg Cathedral. It's the largest church in Salzburg, and it's so big that it faces 3 separate town squares at once. There's a giant chessboard somewhere too. Of the walking tour is going up to the fortress via the funicular, but we did that during the Christmas market, so we're going to skip it today. Our tour of Austria would not be complete without a stop at a beer hall, so we chose Stiegelkeller. It is the largest privately owned beer brewery in Austria. Started in 14 something something. Hold 1,000 people. Right now, there are 4. Prost.
Prost.
Auf Wiedersehen. It can't be that late. Why is everything closed?
Solar powered.
4:46. Solar power. The sun is going down, but we made it to another giant horse bath where we could wash our horse if we had one, and it was the 1700s. Looks like it's closed for the season. So, interesting side note, many of the statues and fountains are all covered, I guess, for protection for the winter. sun has gone down. Everything seems to be closed. We're just gonna go to the beer hall. We couldn't do everything on our tours. We downloaded a walking tour from bigboys.com. They have tours all over Europe. But we saw a lot, and we got a couple beer halls in, so we're enjoying Austria.